That's what I'm saying. We're on webcast here. Everybody can see you. And I can tell you something, as a parent myself, that, watching on a webcast, they're not trying to find out what are they doing. I can tell you that they are so proud of you. They are so proud that you have the opportunity to be here. And they want to be a part of that accomplishment. Because each and every day here at Girls State is an accomplishment. Because in some form or fashion, you are going to grow here today. You did that yesterday when they dropped you off and you had a handshake from the governor. You're getting that today with some of your classes and signing up and challenging yourself as you decide to run. Like Governor Bonnie, who, when she came here, she wasn't sure what she was going to do when she came here a year ago. And now she's back a year later as governor of Girls State. That's what you do for your governing, guys. Well, I say this every year when I come to Girls State. I have the opportunity, and I'm so honored that I'm asked to speak around the state at various events. I'll be doing something. But I always have a special place in my heart when I speak at Boys State and especially at Girls State. I look forward to this year round. And even when you change your schedule, Miss Rosemary, Miss Michelle, I change my schedule. And I'm still here on June 23rd instead of June 9th or 10th. And I'll tell you a couple reasons. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I just look forward to this, one, because I learn a lot. I know that I'm supposed to come and give this great speech and give this inspiring speech, but I also learn a lot, even as I snuck into one of the classes, the personal development class right before here, that I have an opportunity to learn. And I also let you into another deeper secret about myself. I enjoy here to Girls State because, in a sense, for me, I get to revisit myself. And you're thinking, man, this lady is as crazy as they said she was. Think about this. I get to revisit myself through your eyes as a 17 and an 18-year-old. The reason I talk about Rosemary so much, she's a contemporary of mine. She went to East Fairmont High School. They're real excited. And I went to North Marion High School. A little bit better, girls. Anyway, she's a contemporary, so I feel like my senior year. So I graduated in '86. But I really want to talk about 25 years ago. Do you guys think that 25 years is a long time? What do you think? Cheyenne? Is it a long time, Cheyenne? She's trying to be a diplomat here. What are you running for? Party chair. So see, when all those candidates go haywire and they start doing what she has to do, she has to be that diplomat. So she is trying to be diplomatic. But 25 years isn't that long. You all may think it's long. I certainly don't think it's a very long time. And the reason that I'm so focused on 25 years is because I've been thinking about it a lot lately, because this is my silver anniversary year for an event that took place in my life. Because 25 years ago, when I was a 22-year-old, and yes, the older you get, 22 is still a kid. But when I was a 22-year-old kid, I was told to go back to the kitchen. Go back to the kitchen and go make babies. I was spit on, I was called names, trash was thrown at me. All because I wanted to do something that no other woman had done before. To be the Mountaineer mascot. mascot and represent my university and my state. So it is my silver anniversary because I hung tough. No matter what they said, I was going to be the Mountaineer, and I got to be the Mountaineer. Because I worked hard, and I could shoot a gun, and I could wear that buckskin better than anyone. I mean, look better on a woman anyway, right? Right. And so I loved that experience, and I would do it again, knowing that they would say the same things and do some of the same things. I would do it again. And I did it, and I used humor, and I used what I've learned leading up to that. And I also found out that it builds character, and that also, when you are doing something for genuine reasons, not to try to prove a point. That's what some folks thought. She's just trying to show a woman can do what a man can do. Nope. I was doing it for genuine reasons. And when you do something for genuine reasons, you're more likely to be successful. And so, I was successful. And the farther it goes along, just think what a great Mountaineer I'm going to be in 25 more years. The longer history is, the better you get. It gives people's memories fade. That was 25 years ago. And what would someone say about you 25 years from now? What do you think? Could what you do, could what you say, could what you act, how you act, determine what they say 25 years from now? Or you're just thinking, man, that was so long ago. Cheyenne's saying, oh, could be, could not be, right? It's not. Now she's saying it's not. But it was history, and none of you were born, right? Yeah, that's right. So why do I tell you that story? Well, I tell you that story because what did it take? It took determination. It took confidence. It took an attitude to persevere. And all those qualities are built in places like this, right? Whether it's 4-H camp, whether it's band camp, whether it's all of these opportunities that you have, where you have an opportunity to put yourself forward and try something. You're going to challenge yourself, you're going to challenge others, you're going to win and you're going to lose, right? And you use those opportunities that you have in high school. Because, why did I think I could be the Mountaineer? Because I could, right? I mean, I had to show some people that you could do it. Confidence. That's right. And I built some confidence from a previous experience. And the experience was, I was super dog. I mean, that's kind of like, it's a joke sometimes, you guys. But I guess I really was super dog, and I ran around in Fun Fur at North Marion High School. So I had that confidence. I knew I could represent my school. But you have to build it some way, right? And you have to take advantage of the opportunities that you have. And these are great opportunities that you have, that you've had the last 3 years of high school, that the last year of high school that you're going to have. And it's certainly going to teach you some things. I learned from others, I learned from my own experiences, and I'll tell you about one. I have a sister, and she's 7 years older than I am. I'm the youngest of 7, and I only have one sister. She's 7 years older than I am. And I can remember that she was having this conversation with a brother of mine who was always breaking his arm, breaking something. So he had a cat, and she kept saying, oh, come on, Jonathan, right on there, right on there. And I come in as the little sister. I mean, sometimes I might have been known as megaphone mouth or Nat the Brat, but I interrupted this conversation. And she said, I want Jonathan to write on his cast, Kathy for president. And she said, and I said, why? She said she's running for student body president at Fairview High School. And if she wins, then she'll be the first girl student body president at Fairview High School. That's all I needed to know, because I went running to my mom. Mom, tell Jonathan to write that on there. Well, he wrote it on there. My sister won for student body president, and guess what that did for me? That set a goal for me. I wanted to be student body president. She was actually the first and last because they consolidated Fairview into North Marion then. So, I'm thinking I want to be president. And I got to North Marion High School. And I thought, well, I gotta work my way up, right? You guys think that sometimes? It's not just given to you, is it? I gotta work my way up. So I ran for freshman class president at North Marion High School. And guess what happened? I lost. Who's heard this story? Where'd you hear it? Oh, because you guys are counselors. Just be quiet. You guys counselors can't talk. It's a good story. So then I ran for sophomore class president. And guess what happened? I lost. So then I ran for junior class president. And guess what happened? I lost. So you would think that I would have gotten the hint from my classmates, right? But I still have my eyes set being student body president. And then I figured, hey, I'm going outside my demographics, right? It's not just the class, it's going to be the whole school. And so I went all around the school asking people to go vote. I even went out back. Where's my North Marion folks? You still have an out back in North Marion? You ever go back there? What was that? No.
I'd go there, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, she does. Well, Outback was a place where sometimes they went and did things that they shouldn't have done. But I went out back, and I saw some of those folks, and I said, please go vote. Please go vote. They felt that they weren't connected to the school. But I knew what it was like to lose. I knew what it was like to lose 3 years in a row, and now I had the opportunity to campaign, to really campaign and get out there. Now I remember seeing somebody from my middle school, and I said, please come vote. Please bring everybody to come vote. Well, he brought folks, and I ran for student body president. Guess what happened?
You won.
I won, finally. Yes, yes indeed. So why do I tell you that? Because you lose, you got to keep going. Right? I love the saying that neither success nor failure is ever final. Roger Bateson said that. And what does that mean? Neither success nor failure is ever final. Sounds pretty good when you fail, right? Because it's like, this is not going to last forever. But guess what's the other part of it? Success is not final either. That you have to keep working. And so as you keep working, and I look around this room, and I see that you are future leaders of this state, whether it's in the classroom, in the courtroom as lawyers or judges, in hospitals as doctors, elected officials, you are leaders. And you have to take those failures and embrace those failures, because the failures and trip-ups are just as good for you as those successes. Because you're going to understand where other people are coming from too. You know, usually I'm here and it's been after the primary election. You guys haven't even signed up yet. Nobody's cast the first ballot yet. But that's an experience that you're getting here. And when you have those successes, you think about this. I'm going to use my electronics for a little bit. What do the rest of the people in your class, in your school, think of you? Right now, you're at Girls State, and there's only a few girls from every school that get to go to Girls State. There are some girls sitting at home who didn't get chosen to come to Girls State. So you are a leader. You are an inspiration to them. And you can't forget that. You can't forget that as you build and you have a great senior year. As you add this as another notch on your resume, you can't forget about other folks, because that's a true leader. The actions that you may take. And I want to read a poem to you. And I've got about 7 minutes, and we're going to save time for some questions too. But I love this poem, and for those of you who are in Rosemary's class right before lunch, you're going to think, you guys planned this. Well, we didn't. Because as a matter of fact, when she started talking, or when she was continuing to talk, I wanted to get up and leave so nobody thought I stole what she was saying. But I want to read you a poem by James Foley. And it's called In the Water. Any poetry folks around here? I think I was in high school when I first read this one too, and I don't know if you know this. It says, drop a pebble in the water, just a splash and it is gone. that there's 100 ripples circling on and on and on, spreading from the center, on out to the sea, and there's no way of telling where the end is going to be. Drop a pebble in the water. In a minute you forget, but there's little waves of flowing, and there's ripples circling yet. And those little waves of flowing to a great big wave has grown. You disturbed a mighty river just by dropping in a stone. Drop an unkind word or careless, in a minute it is gone. But there's 100 ripples circling on and on and on. They keep spreading from the center as they go, and there is no way to stop them once you've started them to flow. Drop an unkind word or careless, in a minute you forget. But there's little waves of flowing, there's ripples circling yet. And perhaps in some sad heart, a mighty wave of tears you've stirred, and disturbed a life was happy ere you dropped that unkind word. Drop a word of cheer and kindness, just a flash and it is gone. But there's 100 ripples circling on and on and on, bearing hope and joy and comfort on each splashing, dashing wave, so you wouldn't believe the volume of the one kind word you gave. Drop a word of cheer and kindness, in a minute you forget, but there's gladness still a swelling, and there's joy circling yet. And you've rolled a wave of comfort whose sweet music can be heard over miles and miles of water just by dropping one kind word. So do you see the power that you have? You are not only building in yourself your confidence, but you are building your confidence to be able to help others as well. I'm going to give you one more thing that I love, and I've wanted to use this for a long time. It's a hymnal that I hear in my dad's church in Little Old Fair. It's the hymnal, "We Are One in the Spirit." And here's what your duty is. And this is one of the lines every time. And it says, "Dignity and save each man's pride. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love." So I know many of you know that song. It's a great song. But that's what our duty is. That's what our duty is. And certainly our country is facing that right now with what's really happened in Charlie South. You know, we call Charleston, West Virginia, Charlie West, and they're Charlie South. Taking place, and how did they react? They reacted with a kind word, didn't they? So you might be thinking to yourself, what can I do? What can one kind word, or what can one kind act? Well, I'm asking here with an act. And the act is to give voice and stand up for people's rights. And do you know where that voice comes from? For folks who might not be here at Girl State, but folks who get up every day and go to work, some minimum wage jobs, some working on roads in 90-degree weather, some working outside in 10-degree weather. We all have one equal vote. And you can spread that kindness by getting those involved and getting them registered to vote. The way you can do that is many different ways. Through your school, there's certainly new projects and initiatives that we're having from the Secretary of State's office, because come September, as I told Jocelyn with the newspaper, we're going to be having online voter registration. But there is also another program that I want to mention to you, that they have worked so hard. They've become a partner with the Secretary of State's office because it's utilizing the strength, the confidence, the determination of people in this room, of folks like people in this room, of others in your school. And it's called Inspire West Virginia. And I want you to look at this. And Chelsea and Bree are here. Are Chelsea and Bree going to raise their hand? There you are, Chelsea and Bree. And I want you to meet up with them because they're your avenue for giving people that inspiration. I mean, it's a great name, isn't it? Inspire West Virginia. How do you inspire West Virginia? Yes, with our words and with our action, and then inclusion and getting other people. And I truly believe that's why I won for student body president, because the people out back were just as important as my classmates sitting right beside me and my friends sitting right beside me who were cheerleaders, who were basketball players. So that's the can have that when it comes to voting. And that's why voting is so important and getting people registered is so important. I'll tell you one more thing. Talking the history of this man. How many of you know this guy? And I'm sure you've heard this story before. But I guess the many actions of this U.S. Senator who believed in 18-year-olds. Because there was a time when 21-year-olds 21 to be able to vote. But there was this U.S. Senator from a little old state in a little old town known as Jennings Randolph. Ever hear of him? Anybody drive the Jennings Randolph Highway to get up here? That would be I-79. My Brooke County reporter, she came down, so she didn't have to drive it, did you? Well, Jennings Randolph believed in 18-year-olds. And he believed that if you, during the draft and during the wars of World War II and Vietnam, if you were old enough to fight and die for your country, then you should be old enough to vote for those leaders who were sending you there. So he stood up. His one of many acts was proposing the amendment that lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. And do you know how many times he put that into place? When he introduced it, it failed. It failed 10 times. And on the 11th time, it passed. And thank goodness he was this hard-headed West Virginian who believed in all of you enough. Where you can come from. This is where you can come from as young leaders, that you are able to inspire, that you're able to stay true to yourself by building your own confidence, and that you're able to bring it out in others. Because we all have worth. When we help others, even after we fail 3 times, when we lift others up, we're lifting ourselves up too. So that's what you can think about as you're here, learning, having an opportunity, challenging yourself, challenging others, winning and losing, and embrace the losses, because there are going to be some folks here who didn't necessarily lose, but just didn't get enough votes to fill out. So we tried, we're not losing. So those are some of the words that I would like to present to you and to share with you. But what did I say in the beginning? I come here to learn too. And we can do that by a little conversation, and I think that they might give me about 4 or 5 minutes to take some questions. Because I'd love to hear from all of you. I'd love to hear what you have to say and give me some ideas as well. So who has questions for me? Yes, tell me your name and where you're from. Especially in school, of all places, you deserve a place that is safe. You deserve a place where you're not going to have all the friends in the world. You're not going to get to be with the friend, the person that you want to be a friend with. But you certainly deserve to be treated as a and so that, and as a mother of a 13-year-old, I can look at this personally. And sometimes when my daughter comes home, I don't like stones, but they're mean. Then, you guys remember what it was like to be 13? Aren't you so happy you're not 13 anymore? And 17 is, whoo! If there are, it takes walls, it takes structure, you have to make that aware. But I'm looking at the best walls anywhere. You know what I mean by that? What do I mean by that? If I'm looking at the best walls that can ever be on the books. What do I mean by that? told me to go and go home. You know, the new thing is, and I've heard this a couple of times, and I'd like to know where you, and I'm sure you're going to get to this in class, that the one line that I've here too is, you're such an idiot. Why don't you go kill your? I know that they're I mean, then what do you do about that? And we can have all the laws in the world, but if there's somebody saying that, and someone who's laughing after someone says that, then you're just as much part of the problem, and no law is going to stop you or stop your character, right? Those of you who did not go to Rosemary's class today, make sure you go there tomorrow. And the ones who got something from it, you're not supposed to go tomorrow. Some of you didn't get anything from it because you might be a hard-headed West Virginian and it takes a little time to get something through to you. But it's up to you guys. It really is. You are the examples. You're the one person. You're the one person that might, get somebody through the day. That's a great question. And I know that there was some legislation. I know that in Marion County, through the Chamber of Commerce, they worked on that. There's a former delegate, Misha Kaur, who a couple of years ago was working to push that through. But it hasn't been that one kind of order that it can spread. Yes, ma'am. For U.S. Senate, she's right. I ran for U.S. Senate in 2014, and I'm still Secretary of State. Well, it's not open in 2016. I'm up for re-election in 2016, so I'm running. I have filed my pre-candidacy papers to run for re-election as Secretary of State in 2016. 2018 is a little farther off, and the next time then after that would be open, or when it would be up, would be 2020. So I can't really answer your question right now. I have no idea. I'm focused on doing a good job, continuing to do a good job in the Secretary of State's office where, that's another thing, Jocelyn. She was asking me what's going on in the office. On July 1st, our legislation to help veterans. And we come from a state that has one of the highest per capita of those serving in the military. And so as the officer who helps people open businesses, we made it easier for our veterans coming back from retirement, coming off military duty, to open a business and waive the fee to start a business and waive an annual fee. So that's what else I'm working on. That's another report over there. Sonda, is that right? That's another thing that I'm working on as Secretary of State. Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering, what's your opinion on the fracking industry?
You're right. And if you're in Harrison County, it's certainly it's moving this way. I mean, we are probably in the heart. Used to be the epicenter of Marshall County. Western Marshall County, kind of the epicenter, the center of it all. We know that the natural gas industry is bringing great opportunity with jobs and opportunities for our state. And in a state that obviously needs to continue our economy, we need to do that, but we need to do it in a safe manner. We have to make sure that when the development is done, that it's in a safe manner, that the pipes that are going down there and drilling it, that steel casings are in place. And use these resources that God has given us.
Do you feel like you could possibly destroy tourism?
Destroy tourism, yes, it would destroy tourism. Well, I mean, it depends on how how it's developed. It has to be done in a responsible manner. And I'd like to tout that we do have a new tourism website. Go to www.com, and we certainly need to be that other resource. That's diversification. It's not a very good word to use, but it means we can do all. We can have our fossil fuel industries. We can have tourism. I'm a big promoter of technology. throw your drink down.
Absolutely, I was wondering just that.
I mean, it is, and she made a great point. I think when you know what you're getting into, you have that anticipation. I happen to be in the political environment now where when you run for office, a couple things can happen. You can win, you can lose. And what I found, because I've lost a couple of times, that you don't die. And so, that's what I'm telling you, you have to keep building on that experience, or on those experiences. Think about this, when they were telling me to go back to the kitchen, when I was the mountaineer, trying out for the mountaineer, what was I thinking about? I was thinking, you know, I've done this before. I know what it's like to represent my school. I know what it's like to be a mascot. I can do this. And then even now, out here, when they're calling me names now and saying things about me. Can you guys ever think of something that you might be able to pull out from a situation? You know, maybe you were bullied once. How did you get over that? You find somebody who was a friend, so now you're going to return that favor to someone you don't even know. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard when you're faced with, you know, I mean, I know what you're going through. It's hard when you think, how can I get through this? So wanted, and I wish Lori were here. Lori Jones, the counselor that I talked about, because I was student body president. She so wanted to be student body president, and she did not win. So how did she get through it? She focused on other positives that she had. She happened to be student body vice president of the state student council. So that was where she could use her energies. And sometimes when the electorate tells you, we don't want you here, maybe they want you somewhere else. Maybe you can find another one of your talents, because we all have talents. We all have to look for it. Man, I feel like I'm just giving a downer here today. Does it seem like that? Okay, you all are very kind. Did you teach them diplomacy? Say, yes, you did. There you go. All right, one more question. I got the one more question. You said up front, I'll ask yours later, but let me get those clear in the back.
Oh, thank you.
Choice. Would you have reacted like that?
Yeah, that was good reaction.
I know.
Sorry about that, but my name is Melissa Giannotti, and I was wondering, what are some of the experiences you had at Grove State, and if you ever made any friends that you still talk to from it?
Melissa's the first name. Well, what did Governor Bonnie say about me in Girl State? I'm an honorary member. You know what that means? It means you didn't make the cut the first time, girl. That's exactly what it means. It's a great question. And I told myself, because I love these ladies, your counselors, do you realize that they give so much time throughout the year, and then they're here? And so I told myself this time, Melissa, I told myself, myself said, yes, I'm the only one listening to you. I said, I'm not going to make it a point to say, because I said every year, I come whining and complaining every year. I love Girl State, I never got in Girl State. And here's what I think happened. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Now you really got me off guard. One of the girls, and I respect this girl. I like this girl. I can't say I'm still friends with her because I don't see her very much. But Tammy Corlin was a great student, and she just happened to be the one that I beat for student body president. It was nice. It wasn't nasty or anything. She's really nice, and she got to go to Girl State with somebody, I don't even know who the other person was, might have even been a friend of mine, but I didn't get to go to Girl State. And now I understand why, from the people who were doing the choosing, why do you think that she got to go and I didn't? I think that's the case. I think that they probably thought, Tammy needs to go to something. Natalie will get, so I didn't get to go to Girl State. I wasn't, a citizen. And I always wanted to go, but I get to come back here every year, and that's why, Melissa, I look forward to it every year too. So that's why I always mess up your schedule, take more time, and sit in classes and walk around like I know what's going on in Girl State. All right, faster.
I'm not a part of this, but that's because when high school, I was wondering what you enjoyed the most about your job.
I enjoy everything. I really do. Even the tough times and the fun things. Like, this is great. But I'm telling you, I was really nervous about coming because I so want to connect. I so want to learn something, and I so want you all to do well. If there's anything that you can learn from me, from my missteps or my successes, I want that to be the case. I really enjoy every aspect. I know that sounds good, right?
Thank you so much. Can we please have a very large round of